And they're like, oh, your mom's in here. This is serious.
This is serious.
We're sitting down.
Melinda has gathered me here today
I know
to talk about all the tea.
That's how we're starting this video. Welcome back, you guys.
So Melinda has gathered here.
I gathered here my mother.
No,
Church?
she's...
If my mom's sitting down, there's some tea to spill.
Melinda came and said she is ready to talk about what you guys want to know. The tea
What you want to know.
have been asking about.
Addressing the rumors.
Let's do this. Okay, we are gonna get right into it. Melinda, everyone wants to know, was there a living room wedding? Were you married?
Yes, I was married. The end.
The end. Cut. Okay, no, along those lines. So yes, she was married. Why did you not talk about it?
I didn't talk about it for the longest time because I felt I wasn't ready. In all honesty, I felt like I needed time to heal, not just for me, but I have a daughter. So I was like, I'm just gonna take time to myself, and once I feel I'm ready to talk about it, then I will. And today's the day.
She finally said she's ready.
Yeah, I feel like people heal. How do you say that?
Like differently. Everyone heals on their own time frame.
Yeah, so it's taken me almost about a year. And I feel like it's okay. So.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
And kind of at the beginning, like what made you want to get married and kind of what did that all look like?
Okay, so I'm gonna start off to say there's certain things on my channel that I don't ever like talking about because I feel it's very controversial. So, and I know they can be very hot topics.
Religion, politics, those kind of
money.
things.
In all honesty, I know that you guys know that my family and I are LDS, and that was one of the main reasons why we got married. We both agreed, and I know he wanted to move forward into the church, and I was like, I'm okay with doing this with you, and I love you, and so I made that decision with him. And we were like, you know what? We want to make this special between just the two of us. And we agreed to get married in my parents' living room. Just something quick, something easy. And then later we were going to share it with everybody, friends and family, with all of you guys. And then it got moved.
Yes. So real quick, kind of to explain that a little bit more. So they were wanting to live together. And in the church, you should be married before you live together. And so he was like, let's do this. Let's just do the wedding now and then do an actual wedding in February with everybody. And I was like, no, wait till February in our family. And it wasn't like the religion was like, oh, you have to get married now. It was just him wanting to progress in the church, and he wanted that.
Mm-hmm. And I was okay with that because we loved each other at the time.
Yeah. So why was the wedding last minute? Like I was wearing, I think, jeans in it, and some of the kids were in sweatpants. Like it was kind of not a formal wedding.
It was quick, and I called my mom, and I was like, I think I just want to get married. And we can do it in your living room and get the bishop and come over. And she's like, okay. So she quickly put something up.
So it was the night, she called me the night before and was like, I want to be married tomorrow. And I'm like, wait, can we have a couple days? Can we decorate? Should we all dress up in dresses? Like, should we make this like an actual wedding? And Melinda's like, no. Like, you can wear jeans, wear sweat. Like, I want this to be so informal because I want you guys to save that for my actual wedding. For the time when it's like we're actually getting married and friends and family and all of that are celebrating with us. So she asked for us not to be dressed up.
Just like very, what is it?
Casual.
Very casual, and also just like family.
Yeah. Joe didn't get
even know.
invited. Joe didn't get invited. Shelly's family, the Crazy Middles, were not invited. Like, no one was invited.
It was just.
It was a last minute, like, she just wanted to do it really quick, and yeah. Okay, so I feel like a lot of things were very rocky for quite a few months. Like, from June until August, until like that last minute wedding, like, things were kind of just up and down and back and forth, and there were so many people involved in social media and coming up to me and were like, you have to break them up, they're not right together. And like, there was just so much, I think, outside pressure from a lot of different angles that Melinda was like, we share our lives and I love what we do and I love all of this, but sometimes you want some of those intimate, special moments to be kept private. And that footage was not supposed to be leaked. and it was hard because, so the person that leaked it was Bella. She's okay with us saying that. But she was new to our family. She had only been in our family a month and a half when all this happened, or a couple months actually at that point. And she didn't understand what social media would turn that into. And that there would be all these hate videos made on it and all this craziness, like, and she had shared it on a private Instagram that was supposed to be with just her friends. But apparently there were some people in there that were not just her friends. And they leaked all of that footage out there. And then it turned into a bigger thing than what it was supposed to be. And I think too, Melinda and a lot of people were like, oh, you're trying to hide it. And why are you trying to be secretive and that kind of thing? And that was not the case at all.
No.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, it was like a lot at once, like you said, and it was supposed to be just intimate between us and everything. And once I was comfortable and once we were going to be married in February, then we were eventually going to share that. And like we have said before, we do share a lot of our lives, and we get to also choose what we don't want to share. But I didn't feel like I was hiding it. It was just a matter of when I wanted to share it.
When and how she wanted to share it. And it just got shared and not the way that she wanted to share it and
Right.
wanted that to feel like. And I think then on our side too, we were getting a lot like, were they married? And oh my gosh, and you're hiding it and blah, blah, blah. And I've said this since day one with all of my kids, like, if there's ever anything, like, I have a very black and white line. If there's ever anything you don't want to share, ever anything that you don't want us to talk about, that's not, then just tell me and I will never talk about it and it'll never be out there. And Melinda specifically said, I don't want you talking about it. I'm not ready. The situation is very hard for me. And so we chose to not confirm, deny, talk about anything because she asked me not to, and I respected those wishes. And I think that's really important just in social media in general, that we respect each other, what we want to put out there and what we don't. Because I think that there's a very fine line that those can get very intertwined. And I think that a lot of the kids and just a lot of us in general, when we're like, I don't feel comfortable with this, then that should be that. And there are like a lot of great things that happen that I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to share with all of you. And Melinda, same thing, like, oh my gosh, I want to show them this or tell them this. But because of whoever's involved is like, I'm not comfortable or I don't want to at that point, like nothing is shared. And it's hard because I feel like a lot of rumors and a lot of things start from all of that because they're like, oh my gosh. And then people do like exposing them, like, and it's like this big thing, but it's not even that big of a deal. Like, it's not that at all. It's just whoever in the situation wants to keep something private, then we do.
I appreciate that because we've always had those conversations, and there has been times where like, no, I don't want to share that, or no, I felt dumb in that video, and she's like, okay, we won't do it.
Yeah.
So
And we keep those in our private archived videos. Yeah. Because there are a lot of family memories that get vlogged, and whoever will be like, I felt like I looked bad that day. And I'm like, cool, this goes in this other folder, like, and it's never shared. And I think that that's something special about our family. And Melinda does that on her channel too. Like, if we're ever in something that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this person did this or whatever. And then she's like, cool. Like, we're just very respectful of each other's feelings when it comes to stuff like that. So let's go into like the root of all of this. And I feel like this is such an important life lesson that comes from a lot of this is there were some red flags. And in the situation, I think it's hard when you're the one in the situation to see that and to kind of fill that situation out. And so let's talk a little bit about like how you were feeling on just the situation in general and how fast everything was moving. And yeah.
I feel a lot of it. Well, I feel like when it comes to relationships, when you have had a past with an ex and certain things like trigger, I feel those things go into your next relationship if you aren't completely healed from that one. I did do some therapy through the whole thing, and
so basically Melinda was in a toxic relationship prior to this whole situation, and a lot of those come in when you're in a toxic relationship. You go through a lot of mental abuse, and they talk a lot like, oh, you're dumb, or oh, you're this, and they just beat you down and like really destroy your self-esteem. And if you don't heal from that and go through either therapy or talk it through or just go through all the healing and grieving and everything that goes into coming out of that kind of relationship, a lot of times you can bring those insecurities into your new relationship. And Melinda was starting to realize different things. And then in the middle of the relationship, she chose to go to therapy to hopefully fix things that were going on the back end and hopefully fix the relationship. And I think from even an outside perspective as a mom, I was like, okay, Melinda, like, and we would have so many conversations like, okay, I really think slow it down a little bit and work on this in therapy, and maybe he needs to go to this, and like, and trying to help them have a healthy relationship in the situation. And things were rushed and it didn't end up being that way. And then after you were married,
thinking that it would possibly get better, it necessarily wasn't the truth, and other things came about, but I'm not going to talk about it. So then I realized, you know what, I think even though we were only married for 2 months, I made the decision to get a divorce. And at the end of the day, I know that was best. Not just for me, but for my daughter. So,
yes. And I think too, when you're going through all of that, even like the divorce part and how it's like Melinda was saying like she only wanted to be married once and she wanted it to be special and this big thing. And so to go through this and then realize things about the relationship. And I think a lot of relationships you feel like, oh, when we're married, everything's going to be better because we're having these problems on the back end. Or when we're having this, like this is going to make it better. Or when we have our child or whatever the situation is, and it can be in any relationship, but those things aren't going to fix the problem. And I think there were a lot of things even that you didn't find out till after the marriage.
Which was true. I just felt that's what made it hard. I'm just like, once I did find out more stuff, but so just to say, like, I believe it was a very good life lesson for me, even though it was a short period of time. But after everything was done and said, I had a reflection, and I actually still continued to go to therapy for a little bit after, and it did really help. And now I know, still moving forward, what I want and what I don't want. And of course, once I'm ready, I'm going to just take it slow. In the end, I do feel like it's been a major blessing, like I said, a major life lesson. And
I think there's a lot of situations that when we go through it too, it's like, what can I learn from this and be better, whether it's your own choices or whether you know what you do and don't want in a relationship. And kind of what's best. And I think life's a big learning lesson. Every situation that you go through in life is. And I really hope the best for him. And
yes, I hope the best for him too.
Even though it didn't work out, it's for the best.
for the best. I wish him well, and I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for the love and respect and understanding. Thank you for being there for me, and thank you for everyone that has been watching out for me. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.